everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dealing with Loss and Grief series. With me here today is Tope. I call her Tope. Some other people call her Felicia. Tope, welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule to join us today. How are you, Tope?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Malobi. And I know some people also call you Ify. So
Yeah,
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. Looking
thank
forward
you.
to the discussion. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I know that it is not easy to share about loss and grief because it's a sensitive topic and it could pique your emotions. So I appreciate it that you decided to come and share your story with us. And hopefully, this your story touches one or two people and impacts more lives than we think. And then people can learn from you on how you have dealt with the loss of your mom. So yes, Tokwe will be sharing with us on how she has dealt with the loss of her mom, as well as the grief that has followed after the loss of her mom. So yes, I have a number of questions for Tokwe today, and I'll be asking her questions, and then she'll be sharing based on her experience. I had said that Tokwe lost her mom, so I will just go right next to the right on to the next question. When did you lose your mom, Tokwe?
I lost my mom 1999.
Okay. How old were
And
you then?
I think I
You
was,
have to do some calculation?
I think I would say 11 thereabout, 11, 12.
Okay.
Pretty young.
Pretty young. Yes,
Yeah.
that's pretty young. How was that? How was that as a young child?
Oh, okay. I'm going to start from when we got the news. So I was
Please.
in school, but in school, and I guess my dad just it wasn't even my dad. It was a family friend that came
Okay.
to pick us up from the school.
Okay.
Came to pick my brother and myself up, and I could remember they told us then and that we had lost our mom. I think for me, I would say with the situation surrounding or the circumstance surrounding her death. I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing this, but I guess I would just say it's nothing to really hide. My mom was a sickle cell patient, so she had sickle cell disease. So we knew she was always getting sick time to time, and it was a lot of. She had some struggles, pain, and for a sickle cell patient, it's not just the patient alone that go through that whenever they call it crisis, right? Whenever they are having their
Yeah.
crisis, they just don't go through that pain alone. Even the
Yeah.
people, their family members around them,
I agree.
also go through that same pain with them.
Yes.
So when we had that, myself and my younger ones, and we felt, I think I'll call it we had mixed emotions.
Okay.
A part of me felt okay, she had come to rest, right?
Hmm.
And the other part is like, oh gosh, our mom is gone. So I would say it took me time to process it, right? And then because we were usually in school, a boarding school, you don't get to see your parents, you don't get to see your family time. You see them when you come back home from holidays and all of that. That is when you
Correct.
get to
You were in
see and you
boarding school.
bend. Yes, so that is where you get to see and bond. So we had that a little bit of not should I say not seeing them regularly too, but I
Yeah.
was used to not seeing her regularly, so I was able to deal with it at that time. But I guess when you're alone in your thoughts, thinking about it, you don't have other people around you consoling you at that time. That is when it hits you differently, right? Then you
Yeah.
start to think that, okay, what is death? So that means I'm not going to see my mom anymore. That
Yeah.
means myself and my younger ones will be all alone and all of that. So I guess,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. I'm so sorry for your loss. That
it's
must
fine.
have been tough, yeah, because you were young. You were pretty young.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then again, the the other tough thing was you had experienced some of the pain that she had gone through. So
Mm-hmm.
it was, I'm sure you had so many questions like, God, why did she have to go through that pain due to her sickness, right? Due
Mm-hmm.
to the sickle cell illness. And then you also had questions like, okay, she had gone through this pain, then why did you have to take her as well? I'm just trying to imagine and put myself in your shoes because
Mm-hmm.
I would have those questions as a child or even as an adult, like why did she have to go through that pain? But again, there's also that consolation of, well, thank God, she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to go through
Yeah.
the
Pain
pain
anymore.
anymore. She's in a place where there's no longer pain
Yes.
and
Yes. A place
sickness.
of
So
rest.
a place of rest. So that's a consolation. And yeah. So how did you react? You said that you were in school when they told you. How did you
Mm.
react? Do you remember? Because I know it's a long time ago. Did you remember your instant reaction?
I think all I could remember, all I was saying was that, Mom, I know you're still here with us. Funny enough, before I
Oh,
think for I think we had a break, like do the normal midterm break. You come home and
yes.
we watched a movie together. So all of this Nigerian movies, Yoruba
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
and we had a situation like that where they had just lost someone, and they were having the burial rites, doing all of that, funeral,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
call it. So they were doing all of that, and then you know how Yoruba movies now, and
Yeah.
we saw the dead person like talking to people around, but the
Yeah.
people there weren't hearing the dead person, right?
Yeah. Those,
And she
yeah.
went close and you're like, oh, I'm dead. Oh, can't you hear me? And all of that.
Yes.
So so we had watched that movie together. So when that thing happened, it
So when you say
just,
you and your mom?
my mom, yes,
Oh my.
yeah, myself and my mom. So
Yeah.
I remember that movie. I said, I know my mom is here with me. Mom, I know you're here with me. I know
Oh.
some people were like, what's wrong with this girl? This girl, okay. I said, I
Oh.
know you're here. I know you're here with me. I know you're here with me. So and
Oh.
then this song actually came to me, and that was what I could remember. Some of my friends didn't understand, but I kept on singing this one particular song.
Yeah, please share.
Ìyá ni wúrà iyebíye. Oh, you're gonna make me so emotional. Tí a kò lè fowó rà. I kept on singing it. I kept on singing, crying, and as a young girl, I wouldn't say as a child, you just really don't know how to deal with it, right?
Processing. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know how to process it. You're still trying to process it, like, okay. And I just had that belief that,
I'm so
okay,
sorry. I wish I could hold you. I'm
I just
sorry.
had that, okay. And for me, after I would also share that I saw her in the night, like in my dream, while I was sleeping. So
The
she
day
came,
before
yes.
or
Say that again.
before she passed.
No, that was after she passed.
Oh, after she passed.
Yeah,
Okay.
after she passed, I could remember I saw her in my dream, and I was asking her. I'm trying to remember the questions I was asking her, but she came to me to tell me like she's in a better place, that we shouldn't worry so much about her, that she's fine. And I could remember I told an aunt of mine,
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, yeah, you know Christians now, we are believers. We believe things like that shouldn't. Some believe it's okay for you to dream about your loved
Your
ones that you've
grandpa.
lost. Yes,
Yeah.
some believe in that, while some believe no, that
Oh,
this is how
yeah.
they put it, that light shouldn't have anything to do with darkness, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
so you're now in the light, they have gone, so nothing should bring you together, right? So I had that
yeah.
anti casting and binding
Oh
and
my
praying
God.
and
That was
praying that that shouldn't happen, right?
happening. Oh, yeah, that's
But
that's the cultural thing. I
yes,
think that's the
yes.
cultural thing because I see my mom a lot. I dream about her a lot,
And I
and
actually want to. It's something I
yes,
really want to.
yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always look
yeah,
forward to
yeah,
it. Right,
yeah, yeah.
right. Oh, I'm so sorry, Doctor. I'm so sorry. Anyway,
No, it's okay. Let's
let's
continue.
let's continue. Yeah, but thanks for sharing. Thanks, I really appreciate that. What
I
does
know
grief?
when you told me that we're going to have something like this, I knew
Yeah,
you were going to take me to a place I
when
really don't
you have
want
been
to go.
avoiding. Exactly.
You're going to
Exactly.
take me to a place where
It's where you don't want to go. You've
sometimes you want to
avoided.
live in that denial, like, okay, she's still here and just keep living, but okay.
Yeah. Yes, and I understand that. Like this is the whole point of this, right? The whole
Mm-hmm,
point of this is so that we are able to share about our grief,
mm-hmm,
regardless of whether we cry, whether we get emotional. It's
mm-hmm,
something to get emotional for or
mm-hmm,
about. Our loved
mm-hmm,
one is no longer with us. Like
mm-hmm.
we do not know when we're not going to see them. Even if we're
No.
going to see them, it wouldn't be in the same form as
Mm-hmm,
they
mm-hmm,
were. So it's
mm-hmm.
something that it's okay. Like that's the whole point of the community
Yeah.
that we're trying to build. It's okay
Mm-hmm.
to talk about grief. It's okay to cry about it. It's okay to share. It's okay to be vulnerable about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I appreciate that you took up this time and you decided to come because not everyone can truly share and be vulnerable. Get to the point where they are vulnerable. So thank you, thank
You're
you,
welcome.
thank you. What does grief look like to you, and how has it felt like over the past years? It's been a long time. So, what does it look like? Obviously, it's been an emotional one that you have avoided over the
Mm-hmm.
past years. But how has it looked like year in, year out, from the time when you were a child to when you finished? Like, what does grief look like to you?
Hmm. I think to me, it's a continuous, should I use the word feeling? It's a continuous process for me. So you can't just say, oh, you lost your mom, or I lost my mom today, and that's it, right? And I think for me, yes, I'll just use that word. It's a continuous thing for me. You just keep, and also it's more of I think grieving for me also comes in stages and it's situational, right? So
Yeah.
today I'm all happy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think so much about my mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And probably the following day you see me moody, all thinking about her. So I'm going to give you instances. I'm going to talk about stages of my life where that has really been, I would say, evident. So when I
Please,
was
what
trying to gain admission into school, right? And you know how Nigeria is now. You write jam,
exactly.
but jam,
I
but jam,
don't
jam, but
double
jam.
job on it. Exactly. I know.
So we've been like, okay, I've been like waiting to gain admission. And those times, those days of waiting, those days, those months, those years of waiting,
Mm-hmm.
I just felt, oh gosh, if my mom were to be alive, right? She would have made it possible for me. I don't know. I just feel like
You
she would
just
have just
yeah,
worked that magic out. Something would have just
yeah.
happened. I just needed that person, right? I
Yes.
just needed
Or
so
even if she
those
didn't do it, that person to
yeah.
help just to comfort you at that period. Because I know
Yes.
that I'm just sorry, I'm going to cut you short. As you mention it now, I feel like now it reminds me of the blessing I had. Because my mom was alive when I was writing jam. I wrote
Mm-hmm.
jam like 2 times and I was done. I said I was not going to
Mm-hmm.
write jam again. I threw tantrums, but she
Mm-hmm.
was there to also encourage and comfort me.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you mentioned that, I see that as a blessing for me. In the
Mm-hmm.
same, I'm not saying that it's a loss for you, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I get it.
it's something that
Mm-hmm.
I should be grateful for, and then it's something that it's a point of like topic
Mm-hmm.
for you. Imagine like
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking about that. Yeah, so please write on. I just wanted to throw that in.
So in situations like that, events like that, you long for her. You're like, I wish my mom was here. And it brings back all those memories. You grieve again, right? After that, you gain admission, you move on, right?
Yeah.
So that's gone. So some days in between, you think about her, you miss her, and all of that. And when I was trying to, I'll use the word when I was planning for my wedding. Even before then,
Mhm.
there are
I
some,
remember that personal
yeah,
experience. But
yeah.
yes.
So you think about that again. You just say, oh gosh, you wish your mom was here, right? So in situations like that, you just remember her. And even when I had my baby, you wish your mom was here. So those times that you would need her. So that's why Yoruba will say, I'm going to say Yoruba right now.
Yes.
So téèyàn bá kú fẹ́yàn wá sọ pé ọjọ́ ẹkún ẹ̀ ò tí ì dé.
What's
Ọjọ́
up?
ẹkún ẹ̀ ṣì ń bọ̀.
Exactly. Please
Because
translate.
so there are some days you will lock yourself in the room and cry yourself out.
Correct.
And you say, I wish my mom was here. Then you start
Correct.
asking God, why? And
Yes.
as a believer again, you comfort yourself. You tell yourself He has reasons for everything, right? And then you just move on. You just move on again. And some situations again come, events come again, you remember her, you cry and all of that. Yeah. So like I said, it's a continuous, you just don't grieve today and say you're done. No.
Correct. Now,
Yes.
this reminds me of, I know this is not about me, but it reminds me of something someone told me when my mom died. It was at the funeral, and the person said, "Save your tears."
Mm-hmm.
I wondered what she meant. I thought it was mean. She said, "Save your tears because there'll be more days to cry."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand what she meant, because I thought, what do you mean there'll be more days to cry? I thought she was mean. But now that I look back, in retrospect, there have been more days. Over the past 14 years, there have been more days to cry. And yeah, for those who are watching, yeah, it may sound mean if anyone tells you to save your tears, but truly, it's not, it's a reality. And it has been some of our own realities that we've had more days to cry outside the funeral, outside 1 year, even years after, you still cry. So yes, thanks for sharing that. It reminded me of, yeah.
And I wanna add something. And it's not just in those days that you need help and all of that. Even when you're at that stage or at that level, you're succeeding, right?
Yes.
At a point in your life, you cry.
Yes.
And you ask yourself and say, I wish my mom was here to experience this with me. I wish my mom was here. Just that one more hug to say, Mom, see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So those days too, you cry. Not those days you're longing for her or probably you need a help, you need something. No. There are some days that you've gotten, you feel like you're doing something great and you just want to share that moment with her.
With her. I totally resonate with what you're saying. I remember when I got my Canadian PR, I started waiting. I was looking at my passport and I was waiting. I was in tears. And then I was in tears because I remember that this was something that my mom and I had worked on many years ago and it never fell through. So it just reminded me that if she was here at that point, we would have been able to share the news and rejoice. She would have been so, so happy. So because of that, I just started waiting. Like real tears. And then I remember I called a friend and the friend said, "Why are you supposed to be happy?"
I know.
And I said, "I'm supposed to be happy, but look at, I would have been happier if my mom was here."
Just to share that moment with her.
Correct. So yes, your points like are just making me remember. I know it's about you, but they're making me remember my own experience. Okay, let's move on. What is the most painful part of grief for you?
Most painful part, I think for me is, I think the fact that one, you won't get to see her, right?
Yes.
And two, the fact that sometimes people around you just don't understand.
Yeah.
And even sometimes they want to pretend that they do, but they actually do not. Until you feel it before you would understand. So I think that's it for me. Knowing that you'll never see her again, knowing that you never have that person to call your mom,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and the fact that people around you sometimes might not just get it. And because we grieve differently, they assume we
Yes.
should grieve, you should grieve a certain way.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm gonna share an experience. This is not related to
Please,
my mom.
sure.
I could remember when I lost my grandparents. I didn't cry at that time
Good.
when I had, because I was with my grandpa. I took him to the hospital. I was like present and all of that when he died. But I didn't really cry at that time, right? I didn't grieve. It didn't hit me at that time. What I just wanted was that I knew he was old. I knew he was going to leave. He was going to definitely die. But as a believer, I was focused on something else. And my focus was, God, I want to be sure. I want to know if he actually made heaven. That was what I was mostly concerned about, right? But at the burial ground, when we were having the funeral at the site, when they were ready to put him down,
Internet.
and it hit me that I wasn't going to see my grandparent, my grandpa anymore. And I started crying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the next person I could remember, and Hans was close to me, and I hugged her so tight and I was crying. And the people around me were like, Shebi, this was the girl that we've been seeing everywhere. Why
Mm-hmm.
now? Why is she now just crying, right? But people just don't get it. It just
Yeah.
hits me that, okay, I will never see him again. It's going down, like down.
Yes, it was like real.
Yeah,
So all
real.
this while, it
Yes.
was only denial, right?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
it felt like, oh God, this is real.
This is real. This is real. It's gonna be covered, and I won't get to see my grandpa anymore. So, like I said, we grieve differently, and people expect you to grieve a certain way. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because you want the people who you love who are still here to be able to
Mm-hmm,
understand, to be able to
mm-hmm,
empathize, to be able to
mm-hmm,
sympathize
mm-hmm.
with you. And it can be hurtful if they are not able to because you want them
Yeah.
to understand. And if they cannot even understand, they should at least empathize. Right. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that it can be hurtful sometimes when they do not understand. Okay. How would you say, I know you've touched on this a bit, but
Mm-hmm.
how would you say grief has impacted your life?
Hmm. I would say, I would say, grief has impacted my life positively, greatly. I will use those words because losing someone, I don't know, at that age for me, made me um, mature quickly, right? I have two siblings, and I just immediately, that's one thing about God. He's so faithful, and he knows the future, right? Even when you're unaware, when you're unaware, he prepares you for it. So I would say it has impacted me in that way. I knew I had to start
Step up.
wearing start wearing two hats,
Yes.
right? As a sister, as a mother, and all
Mhm.
of that at the same time. And I would also say is draw me closer to God. Because
Mm,
I know, okay, my mom is gone. And there's an adage that they used to say, "Kosi and totally that be yeah."
at all.
People around you will try. And the Lord has blessed me with wonderful people. My
Sorry, for those
hands,
who are watching, I have to translate that. Because Senito that be yeah, like there's no one like your mom, and there's no one that
yes,
will be like your mom. Just
yes,
putting that out there.
okay. And God has blessed me with wonderful people to give me that support to help me through that journey. So, like
That's
I said, at every stage of my life, He has brought people to hold my hand to
mm,
help me through it.
that's good,
Yes.
and that's a blessing. I would say that's a blessing because not everyone has the
Mm-hmm.
support system that
Yes.
not saying that God doesn't love them or God loves them
Mm-hmm.
less, but just saying that it's a blessing for you to have had the support system that you
Yes.
had. And then this brings me to my next point. It wasn't on the notes, but it brings me to my next point to say, do you think grief is trauma, right? Losing a
Mm-hmm.
loved one is trauma. Do you think the trauma has affected your relationships with people? or in the past, do you think it affected any of your relationships? Do you think?
Yes.
I mean, if you're
And
not comfortable sharing, it's okay.
I'm not too comfortable, but I'm just gonna say it, but I won't go deep into it.
Good.
Yeah, so
Feel free.
it has really affected my relationship with my dad.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess when my I don't know, maybe it's just me or my kind of person.
Yes.
So when my mom died, I knew that there's gonna be a point in time in my dad's life that he
Yes.
was gonna remarry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, I just didn't want that. I was like,
I
no, I
know.
wanted to hold on to that space for her.
I
So I
know.
would say, it really affected our
Mm-hmm.
relationship in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to stop there. I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
go deep.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I totally understand that, and I respect that you don't want to share further because I
Mm-hmm.
mean it's your dad, it's your family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also something I'm saying this for people who are watching. Some people are also going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we just want to hold on to our person. We don't want anyone to replace them. We don't want anyone to take their place. No matter how it looks, we don't want anyone to take their place. And it's a valid thing. It's a valid for a young child. It's valid as well. So yes, at that point, maybe at that time, maybe some people will say, "Why don't you want to?" or say it's not valid. It's valid, very valid, very valid. Yes, as you grow older, you begin to understand. Okay, yeah, maybe he, as a human being, he needed somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a human being, he needed a companion. As a human being, he couldn't have continued to stay without some like a partner. So as a human being, it could have also been that it was his own way of grieving
Mm-hmm.
to find a
Yeah.
replacement,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would just say that I don't know the dynamic, but I would say that you should be magnanimous towards him because he's a human being.
I know. And because you're really young, I was 11, 12.
Yes,
I really do not understand. But thinking
yes,
back now, and I'm like,
yes,
okay, I think it's actually good for him, right?
yes,
So
yes.
you understand better
As you grow
as
older.
you
Yes,
grow older.
yes,
So that's it. So it's that's why I said it affected, but now you understand better.
better.
So
Yes,
and I think you also grieve differently when you lose your loved one
correct.
at an older age, right? You understand some things, you're more mature than when you lose your loved one at a younger age.
It
So
depends.
I think it's a
It
different
may
thing.
it may be different. I haven't done like a survey to
Mm-hmm.
to know if it's different. But again, everybody grieves differently, no matter what
Mm-hmm.
stage of their life they are.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe when you're more mature, you'll be able to understand certain things. But
Mm-hmm.
again, when you're more mature too, you may also see it as like you have more questions.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. Like you can have
Yeah,
more
yeah,
questions for
yes.
God. You can have more questions for why is she not
Mm-hmm.
here at this time of my
Mm-hmm.
life?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, again, grief comes in different ways for different people,
People, yeah.
even for the same person. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, grief could come in different ways at different points in my life. Like you said, when you
Mm-hmm.
were a young child, then when you
Mm-hmm.
now got married, and when you're about to be married, it
Mm-hmm.
changed. When
Mm-hmm.
you give birth, it changed. So the way you acted some years ago will be different from the way you act, or you acted when you gave birth. So
Yeah.
yeah, it changes. I read something somewhere where it says grief never goes away. It just
Mm-hmm.
changes with
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
You just change. Okay, let's move on. I've enjoyed the conversation so far. I would say, how has grief impacted your family? And then I would say, did you have the support of your family and friends at the time?
Yes, I would say yes. I had the support of especially my maternal side of the
Yeah.
family. And I know you're aware too, you know some of the story. So
Yes.
they've been so supportive, right?
Good. good.
Yeah, because they also had that responsibility as this is our sister here that we just lost, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want to let we would not want to let our family down. We would want to help, right? So
Wow.
yeah, so I would say they've been my uncles, my aunties have been
I know.
so wonderful, so great. Sometimes you are like, oh gosh, God has a way of doing his things,
Of
and not just
compensation.
yes, and not just my families, even friends, right? Um, older friends. I wouldn't just say probably my peers. So I'm talking about like the elderly ones that they just see that okay, she needs this help, she needs this support. Yeah, right. So they understand that okay, she doesn't have a mother, she doesn't have a sister, right? They just need to be there for her. They need to help her. So I've seen people stand in gap for me. Like we pray
Mhm.
together. Like what your mother would want to do for you to just help you through it. They might not have all the money or the material things to give you, but they've been there spiritually. They've been there to help you through it all. And that's what God will do. God will always put people in your lives to help you at that time that you need them, right?
Mhm.
So, like you
And
said, it would remain when you lose your father or even your mother, it will remain your father. The Lord will remain your mother. He will remain your sister. He will help you through it. He will comfort you. All you need
mhm.
to do is just ask Him. He will do it. He will put
That's
people in
good.
places to help you through it.
It's good that you say this, and I'm glad that you have the support that you have. That you had the support, especially from your maternal side of the family. I don't think I had that. So I'll say that it's a blessing, and you should count your blessing. I didn't have, of course, I had one or two maternal families who have stood, over with me or by me over the years, but the majority of my maternal family, because I've absconded. Like, of course, depending on it also had to do with the circumstances surrounding my mom, the relationship they had with her before she passed. But yeah, I'm just saying this to point out that it was a blessing for you that you had the support of your maternal family. It was a blessing. Not everybody has that,
Yeah,
and we thank God for that, right?
yeah. But
Yeah.
I think I want to ask you a question too. So
Oh,
yes,
sorry. Then.
you might not get that support from your family, but did you have just one or two person that was there all through it all?
Oh yes, I had great friends who stood
Okay.
by me.
Okay.
I had also a very significant person who has stood by me
Okay.
all the
Okay.
years. So yes, definitely. I didn't. I'm not here today talking about grief because I was by myself all through it all. No,
Okay.
no. So I give credit to those who were there. They stood, friends stood as family. In fact, even closer than a brother, like they say. So yes, I did have. I wouldn't say I was by myself. I don't think I would have been able to survive and get to the point where I am in my
Okay.
life if I
Okay.
haven't had those people.
Okay.
So
I
yeah.
want to be sure that because I want to know if my theory is right, that God will definitely place people in your lives to help you
Oh
through
God,
that journey.
he definitely plays. I
Okay.
wouldn't say that. So I had the support of people, but I also felt alone. Remember that I was
Oh, definitely.
our
You will
only
feel
child.
alone. Yes.
Remember I was our only child,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had to do a lot of the planning myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to the mortuary myself. I had to go
Mm-hmm.
identify her body myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through all that process, right? I also had to I had to do all the paperwork. I was 21, yes, but nobody prepared me for it.
Mm-hmm. I
Right?
know.
So I had to do all the process planning, all deciding what she was going to wear, deciding what we're going to do, deciding the date, all those things I had to do by myself with the support of friends and somebody like it's the significant person. You know the
Yeah.
person. But
And
yes.
also there's something I want to add that's why
Mm-hmm.
we say grieving is different for so many people. The way
Yeah.
you will handle it is different from the way I will handle it, right?
Yeah.
Because I have my my younger ones,
Yeah.
I have that extended family support, right? And
Yeah.
you might not have it. So the way you're going to handle it, the way you're going to grieve is going to be totally different from the
Yeah.
way I'm going to grieve. And it's
Yeah.
going to be also totally different from the way someone else is going to grieve.
Correct.
So,
Absolutely. Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. So for those who are watching again, please, be kind. Be kind because people grieve differently. And when you see people grieving for a long time, there's probably a reason behind it. They're not just looking for pity parties or being looking for people to sympathize or looking for people to check on them, and they don't want to remain sad all their lives. It's just that this is their circumstance. They just have to think about their person. They cannot, like, for me, for example, my mom was the only person I had.
mhm.
So, and I just have like, how can God take that one person I
I
had?
know.
You know? So it will always come up for me. It will
Mhm,
always come up. Another thing again that's significant for people who are only children like me, if you're watching, is there's no one to share in the same pain
mhm,
with people who have siblings. You can even say, "Oh, mommy, mommy." There's
mhm,
no one to really talk about her the same way as my mother,
mhm,
right? You can share stories. I mean, I can share stories with my friends who knew her, share
mhm,
stories with other people who knew her, but it's not the same with sharing the same story with the person who is their mother as well, right?
mhm.
Right, I think so. I'm believing that it's not the same. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there for those who are only children like me. All right, it's not about me today.
I,
Maybe I'll call you to interview me.
it's fine. And there's something I would like to add
Okay, go on.
regarding to this question: that do you have support of your family? Do you have support
Mm-hmm,
of your friends? Sometimes you might expect that you should really have a support of a certain family member, right? And
mm-hmm,
you're not getting that. I want
mm-hmm.
you to I don't know whoever is listening, but I want you to know that it's okay. Don't expect too much from them, right? It's fine if they are not coming through like they've promised, right?
Mm-hmm.
God will definitely bring someone to not to
Um,
necessarily fill in that gap, but like I said, to help you through it all. So it might not come in as your uncle, your auntie, your friends, even your friends that you're
yeah.
expecting to, it might not come. And there is an adage that Yoruba used to say, I'm going to say it in Yoruba. Please feel free to interpret. Um, Àjùmọ̀bí ò kan tàánú, ẹni tí Olúwa bá rán sí ni ló ń ṣe ni lóore.
Hmm, that's deep.
Yes.
Please interpret it because that's deep. But I think I
Because
get
your
the picture.
sisters or because your relative doesn't mean they are going to come true for you. They are going to help you when
Um,
you need them,
Jumobi,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Àjùmọ̀bí ò kan tàánú. Don't expect them to. It's whoever the Lord has touched or whoever the Lord has placed in his or her heart to bless you, to help you in that time
exactly.
of need, that will be there for you all through, that will be there to help you. So don't
Yeah.
hold grudges or don't feel like they should be doing this, they should be doing that.
Yeah, but
So,
I also want to challenge you on that. I understand that you're saying that they should not hold grudges, but we're humans. We have expectations of people. We have people who we love,
mhm,
right? We have people who we love that we expect to be there for us. So it would hurt us. So for those who are watching who have people who have been grieving and the people who they expect are not there, yes, do not hold, try as much as possible not to hold grudges. But
mhm,
trust me, at some point you probably hold grudges because you have certain expectations of them. You can eventually resolve the grudge. You can eventually
mhm,
pray to God to give you a forgiving heart. I
mhm,
don't think I have gotten over some of the grudges I have based off my mom. And this is 14 years after. So I'm saying this from experience, right? It's easy to say don't hold grudges, but when
mhm,
you really hold people dear to your heart, you want them to be there, especially at your vulnerable time,
mhm.
when you're vulnerable. So yeah, just decided to put it there. But yeah, do not it's manage your expectations, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Manage your expectations.
Mhm,
Not everybody will come through for you as you would
mhm.
like.
Mm-mm.
And then as for every other thing in life as well, right?
Yeah.
Every other
Mm-hmm.
circumstance in
Mm-hmm.
life where you need people.
Yeah.
But if you believe in God, if you're a Christian watching, God always finds a way to send us consolation.
Yes.
All right. Do you think you lost friends? Do you think you lost this will tie into the other questions, but do you think you lost some friends and family members?
Yeah, I would say I actually did. Lost some, gained some.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're going to move to the interesting part. Tell us what before you okay, I'll say tell us about your person before you give us advice for others. So tell us
Mm-hmm.
about your person. What favorite memory do you have of them, like of your mom? And what do you miss about her? These are three questions, so you can answer it any way you want to answer it.
I think I remembered one. Okay, I think that pampering. But like I mentioned, we went to boarding school, right?
Yeah.
So during visiting day, my mom will come with all sorts of different
Good.
kind of delicacies and whatever. Name it, rice, ifokore, asaru, all of that,
Wow, your
just to
roommates would have
spoil
been
you.
your classmates would have been so
I
jealous of you.
know. She will bring all of that. And when you're back from school, you know that first day, the second day, they're still
Mhm.
spoiling you silly. So I
Yeah.
think I miss all of that. And the fact that my mom is one, I'll use the word fashionista. So when you see me being fashionable and all of that, I got that sense from my mom, right?
Yeah.
So I think I miss all of that, dressing me up as the only girl, going
Oh,
to, going to going to functions, and you getting all that attention as a kid, like, who is your mom? Just look at how she's dressed and all of that. Yeah,
yeah.
so I think I miss all of that.
Oh,
And
that's
those
so
are the
sweet.
memories I have of her.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. It's funny that you say this because I remember when you had a daughter, like when you had your daughter,
Mm-hmm.
for the one I mentioned to you that I'm sure you're going to dress her up as much as you like to dress me up, So it just
Mm-hmm.
reminds me that that's something that you have held on to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Mm-hmm.
something you would want to do. So it's funny that
Yeah.
I didn't even know this about your
Mm-hmm.
mom,
Mm-hmm.
but I said it because I didn't even know that it's something that you picked from her. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to see that her legacy is still living on, and then you are
Mm-hmm.
passing it on, and then you miss it, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, good to hear that. Sweet to hear that as well.
Thank you.
What advice would you give others?
Hmm. Okay. I think
Others
my
were
advice
grieving.
is grieve at your own pace.
Mm,
Hmm? It's okay to process it. It's a new thing for you. The truth is, you might lose a friend, you might lose someone like close to you, but not too close to you. But when you're talking about the loss of your mom, the loss of your father, or the loss of your sibling, it's differently, right? So it's
yeah.
a new thing for you. So grieve at your own pace. And for those that are believers, hold on to Christ. He will give you all that strength that you need. He will give you all that peace that you need at that time. Because there are so many questions that will be coming to your mind, that will be crossing your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But He will grant that peace, and He will give you
Mm-hmm.
that strength to move on. So I guess
Hmm.
that's my advice. Grieve at your own pace and hold on to Jesus.
Thank you, Tope. Appreciate the advice. Very, very valid because it can be easy to say, "Oh, you need to get on with your life. You need to move on.
Mm-mm.
You need to move on." It can be easy for people to say that, but remember, with all the noise, remember
Mm-hmm.
you'll be by yourself at
Yes.
different points in your life, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have to grieve by yourself. You'd have to go back to those feelings, and you would have to
Mm-hmm.
go back to those raw emotions. So
Yes.
grieve at your own pace. We love that. Um, if you had an opportunity to speak with her, what would you say? What would you tell her?
Hmm. have I really thought about that? I think what I want to do is just hug her.
Oh, you're making me cry. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh gosh.
And it's okay. It's
Ooh,
okay.
I knew this discussion was going to eat differently.
I
I knew
know
you
it's
were
okay.
going to take me to places
It's okay. It's also taking me to. I'm sorry,
that feeling
Tope.
that you're trying to like check up. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I think all I just want to do is just hug her and tell her I love her. I miss her so much. I see my daughter every day, and she's used to it now. I just hold her tight and I tell her I love her. She tells me back, I love you too, mommy. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tope. It's okay. It's okay.
And probably gist her of all those
About
things that
everything that I have
everything.
done, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Oh, funny enough, we used to fight when I was growing up.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Do you know how many arguments?
Oh,
I even miss the arguments.
I know.
I miss fighting with my mom. I wish she was here just to come so that we can fight.
I know.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
I understand. I
oh,
understand.
okay.
I'm sorry, Tope. Do you want to
It's
go grab
okay.
tissue?
No, no. I wish I had one close to me. I didn't know it
Ah,
was gonna hit me. But let me get
yeah,
one. Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
please,
Let me
yeah.
get one.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
it's fine. It's okay.
so sorry. Like, ah. Okay. All right. Are you ready to go
Yeah.
on?
Keep going.
All right. All right. We're good. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping
Okay.
up. Okay. Eh, we're gonna play a game of choice.
Okay.
As we play the game of choice, you just pick the ones that you would like
Mm-hmm.
to, like you support or you choose. The first one will be grief ends versus grief never ends.
Grief never ends.
Grief never ends. Apparently, I mean, for those who are watching, you can see that grief never ends. You can
Mm-hmm.
see that many years later, I'm still crying. Tofa is still crying. So, like, this is an indication that grief never ends. Sometimes we just try to suppress the
Mm-hmm.
emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes because of where we are at in our lives, we just have to suppress the emotions to kind of move forward. Some
Yeah.
people do not have the opportunity to even move forward. Some people just like some people have been broken for life because of the death of their loved ones. So that we're here, still able to move and function
Mm-hmm.
is a
Mm-hmm.
blessing, even though we're still crying, right? So yeah, um, we move on versus we never do.
That's tricky.
Yeah, answer it the way you
We
wanna.
we move on or we never do. I guess we just try to live through it. Not basically moving on, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just we just live through it.
We
So I
try to
wouldn't
live.
pick. So I wouldn't pick moving on.
Good. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We heal completely versus we heal in bits, but never completely.
I think we heal in bits, never completely. And for me, I'm gonna add that because it's a long time. I still try to preserve that space for her in my heart.
I get that. I know. I think I understand. You don't want
Yes.
the memory of her to go.
No, I don't want it to go, and I do not want it to be replaced. I have
Ah,
wonderful people in my life that has been there. They've been so supportive, so good to me that sometimes you want to blink and say, oh, that's,
Okay.
that feeling is just trying to replace.
No, you don't
But
want
I
to like,
just,
but
no, I want to
as much
hold
as
on.
they try,
As much as they try, I
no
want to hold
offense
on.
to them,
No, no,
no
no, no,
offense
no, no,
to
no,
them.
no, no. I love them with all of my heart. They are
Mm-hmm.
wonderful people. They are good people. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, I guess
Nobody's like, come
it's
on,
just part
Mauricia,
of grieving, right? Is it just, I
yes,
think it's just part of grieving, part of grief that you want to hold on to
the
that spot.
memory.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
hold on to that memory. It's a
yeah,
void in my heart that I'm not ready for it to be filled by no one.
yes. And
Yes.
I just remembered something, Tope, and I wanted to share about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tope did something for during her wedding, and leading up to the wedding, she had a lot of plans for how she wanted her mom to be
I
represented
know.
on her wedding day. So I'd like you to share about that because it's something that I thought was really really nice,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that if I ever want to get married, I want to do something similar. So please share.
Okay. I think I wanted to do a lot of things, but I
Well, you
ended
have to
up,
be cautioned.
I exactly, I was cautioned. And at the same time, I was like, okay, don't take it too far. It's fine. We all know. So I said I was going to, I wanted them to, which is normal, like
See,
give
feel
her
free
that
to share.
some minute silence, right? Even when
Yeah.
they did it, that I wasn't present, I told them, I called the MC. I said, you need to, you need to give a minute silence. And also my bouquet, I had my mom's picture
Love it.
tied to the bouquet, and I held it that the whole world could see. She's not there. She's not there physically, but in my heart she was there spiritually to me. She was there. She saw the whole thing, and I just want to hold on to that okay, yes, this is my belief. It might not be other people's belief. This is what I believe, and that was what I did. I wanted to have a pictures tied to my shoes. I wanted to have a frame. I wanted to have a console table somewhere in the hall with our pictures, just to know that this
I'm going to
woman
have
is
that.
right. This
I
woman
am
is
going
right
to have
here.
that. I
Yes,
am going to have that. I'm going to have a projection of her picture,
yes.
and whoever I'm getting married to, if you're watching this, I don't know, just know that I'm going to have that. I've watched a funeral where they played videos of the mom of the person that the mom of the bride, and I
Mm-hmm.
really loved it because I thought that that was even not enough to show to express that memory. Yeah, some
Mm-hmm.
people may think you're doing too much because you also have your groom's family, you also have other people. But yeah, I feel like people should respect the fact that I want my mom to be heavily represented at my
Mm-hmm.
wedding. However, I
Yeah,
want to do it, please respect it.
I respect it. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
know.
I thought that it was going to be nice. I remembered it, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
really an awesome thing for you to have done, and I think I will even do more. All right. It happened for a reason versus there can never be a logical reason.
It happens for a reason.
It happens for a reason. Do you know the reason? Do you know the logical reason?
I don't know the reason, but like a believer, I just believe that God made it happen for a reason.
We could go into that,
I
talk
know,
more
but
about that,
don't
but
let us go into that.
let's
Don't let
not go
us go
into
into
that.
that.
It's already
Yeah,
like we're almost hitting
yeah.
1 hour. All right. Um, dream of your loved one versus never dream of them.
Dream of them.
Yeah. How often do you dream of her? Do you know?
No, I hardly, but I
Okay.
wish, yeah.
You wish it was more often.
Yeah, I think I do. You know that those dreams
Like
that you
you
do and you
don't.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Yes, those kind of, yeah. But
Like
you knew that I think I saw my mom
she was
I
there.
think I saw, but you just don't
You
remember,
cannot
right?
put
Yeah.
like pinpoint
Yes,
what the
yes,
activity was.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I thought
yes.
I dream of her often.
Yeah.
For me, I dream of her often. And I also dream of her when I'm about to make like certain decisions in my life.
Mm, mm,
And I dream of her many times fighting for me. So there'll be
mm,
like a whole, but there was a dream I had of her where a monster was going to
mm,
attack me, who actually kidnapped me. And
mm,
then he had to ask for my mom to come and save me. So I called and
mm,
he said the only way he's going to, in this dream, the only reason he's going to release me and the others is if our moms come, dance naked, and I think sleep with him. It was like a monster looking man. And then I called my mom over the phone and she's like, just that? I'm coming right away. Like she was ready to do anything just to have me released. When I woke up from the dream, it felt like, oh my God, what's this thing? What's happening in my life that, I couldn't tell what it was, but I felt so happy that she was willing to go all the way just to save me. I really don't know what the dream till today. I don't know the interpretation, how it affected my life in any way, but I was so happy. So I've had such dreams where she comes to fight for me, where she comes to standing, where we're having because she loves to plan events. When we're having events, she's planning the event. I know she's there, she's providing food for people, but I cannot reach her.
mm,
I can't talk to her.
mm,
But I
mm.
know she's there and I'm
She
happy
said,
she's there. And
mm.
when I wake up, I'm like, oh gosh, it was so real. I wish she was here. But yeah,
And
this,
I think like some people believe, and I'm also in that school of thought. I also believe that dead people, like especially your loved ones, become your guiding angels, right?
yes, I
They
believe
guide
that.
you. So some people do not, but I
Some
hold on to
people
that.
do. Yes.
I would say she has remained for me and my siblings. She has remained our guiding angel. She has
Yes.
never left us. And Yoruba will say, I think I've spoken a lot of Yoruba during.
It's like you're laughing.
So some people will say, they will, sometimes it comes as a prayer, right? When you lose someone, especially the ones that have children,
Mm-hmm.
they will call you. They'll call the
And so, mercy.
Masu má gbé pillow fi rọrí o. Ṣọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹ o, kó dúró ti àwọn ọmọ ẹ o.
Yeah,
So I can confirm that ìyá tèmi ò fi pillow rọrí o.
at
She
all.
has she
I get
has
that.
been yes, she didn't so what I mean is she's not just sleeping. She's
Yeah.
actually guiding us. She's our angel over there,
Yeah.
protecting us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
And she'll
that's my belief.
continue to be your guardian angel.
Yes, yes.
By God's grace. All right. Have her back versus never have her back.
Say that again.
Have her back versus never have her back. Sorry, we're sniffing.
Have her back, right?
Yeah,
Or
have her
never.
back. So have her
Okay,
back.
have her back. Okay.
Or never have her back.
Oh, I want to have her back.
Oh, okay. I still have so many unanswered questions versus the divine has shown me in different ways why they took her.
Hmm. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
the situation that surrounded my mom's death, we knew was going to happen. Might not, we just wanted it. Human beings, even when you just don't want it to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'll take the later part that we knew she needed to go rest. The pain was just too much unbearable for her. That sometimes you wish people like that. Like I think it's time for you to just go rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or if it was a different you would, yeah. I wouldn't want to say that, right? But
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. All right, we've come to the end. Adair, do you have last words for us?
mm, no.
No, no. All right, all
Yeah.
right, all
I
right.
think
Thank you.
I think the only thing I just want to share is that I don't know. I don't know if I should be sharing this or not, but I guess this just doesn't have to do with I guess I'll just let it go. Yeah.
You don't want to say
Okay.
anymore?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say anything. Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thanks. Thank you so much, Tucker. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
vulnerable. Thank you so much for getting to that point of your heart and emotions that you've been avoiding over the years. And I really pray that as the years go by, you heal more. I pray that your mom continues to be your guardian angel
Yeah.
and for you and your siblings. I pray that her memory never dies, so her
Mm-hmm.
legacy never dies. And I pray that as you continue to remember her as your mom, you continue to instill in your own children, your own, the good things that she instilled in you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, hopefully one day we see her at, in the world beyond, hopefully. And yeah, thank you so much. This has been such an emotional and but it's been also very insightful. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I didn't also know about you. That's why I like this whole episode. It has made me know some things, like more things about my friends that I have interviewed. So thank you. And for those who are watching, thank you for staying this long. This is a long video. You probably would not even stay till the end. But if you stay till the end, thank you for watching. And I hope that you've drawn strength from all that Tokwe has shared. And one thing that I want you to hold on to is if you are grieving, you are still emotional, you can see just based on what we have done that you're not alone
Mm-hmm.
in on this grief journey. You are not alone. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me, Ify. Bye.
Thank you, Joshua.